Hello everyone, how are you today? Hope your day's going well wherever in the world you are. First of all, thank you for tuning in, watching my video. Hope you find it helpful. So today's topic, chickens versus ducks. So the first thing to probably say about that is this is really about a suburban setting. If you live on 100 acres or more, different things to consider. So, differences between chickens and ducks. Just in terms of keeping the backyard, there's not a lot of practical difference, to be perfectly honest. The only main one that really sticks out in my mind is that ducks use more water, and not necessarily for swimming. You don't have to give ducks a pond. They are quite happy to just be kept in a yard, the same as chickens. But what they do is, what's the best way of describing it? Chickens have very pincer-like beaks. They individually pick up each grain, throw it into the back of their throat and swallow it. Ducks have a broad bill, and so when they eat, they get all sorts of dirt and muck in there. So what they do is they duck their heads in the water and spit it all out. So they just dirty up the water bowls. So just in terms of practical keeping, that is the big difference. Every now and then I let my ducks out to have roam in the backyard, and the first thing they do is go over to the dog's water bowl and mess it up completely. It just turns into black sludge because they are washing their beaks out in the water. So that's the main practical difference just in terms of keeping them. Other differences, obviously ducks are water birds. They do require a bit of access to water. They don't, like I said, they don't have to have an actual pond to swim in, although it is nice. I think it's probably a nice healthy enrichment for them, and it probably makes them happier in the long run, but you definitely don't need it. Easiest thing to do would be buy some sort of little kid's swimming pool and rinse that out every few days, just in terms of practical keeping of birds. The other big difference in terms of keeping them, in suburbia there are very good and logical rules that say you're not allowed to keep a rooster. So therefore obviously the difference is that you can't breed your own birds if you have chickens. You can certainly raise chickens if you have access to fertile eggs from somewhere. Then yes, you can definitely raise chickens, whether it's through an incubator or a broody chook. Yeah, you can raise chickens, and you can get your kids to learn how these sort of processes work, which is a good skill that kids should learn. But if you're keeping ducks, you can definitely keep a male, and in fact, if anything, the male ducks, drakes, are actually quieter. They have a softer quack. I don't know why that is, but it's just something I've noticed. They definitely have a quieter quack. So the females are actually a bit more chatty and louder. So yeah, that's just an interesting little fact. So you can definitely keep a male, and you can breed your own birds. So if you're really wanting to breed your own livestock in the backyard, ducks would tend to be the way to go. Doesn't exclude you from keeping chickens. You can keep both, definitely. However, yeah, if you want to breed, ducks is the way to go. Keep a few silky bantams around if you want to raise them, the ducklings, through a broody chook. Silky bantams I've found are the best brooding hen breed. Very popular too, just because they look cute and fluffy as well. Kids love those birds. Little cotton top, fluffy head feathers and whatnot. The kids love them. In terms of egg production, there are a couple of breeds of ducks that will give chooks a run for their money. Indian Runner is one, and Khaki Campbell is another. They are really egg-laying duck breeds. 300 plus eggs a year if they're well fed and well maintained. Once they get older, that obviously drops off, but they can definitely give chooks a run for their money. But some of those commercial birds that have had years and years and years of commercial farmers selective breeding, they'll win always when it comes down to pure numbers. They will outproduce ducks easily. You know, 350 plus a year. Duck eggs are bigger as a general rule, so you'd go duck eggs, chicken eggs, and then bantam eggs. So it really depends what you're looking for. If you want to breed your own birds, ducks are the way to go. If you just want to keep a few birds out the back, feed your kitchen scraps too, as well as obviously feeding them a commercial type grain or pellet mix, and just produce a few eggs for you and your family, chickens are an excellent starting point. In fact, I'd recommend it if you're a novice. Start with chickens. If you've got a little experience and you do want to look at breeding your own birds, then definitely look at ducks. There are other poultry options, things like quail, pheasants, turkeys. Again, it depends on your council rules, but definitely look those up before you start branching out from chickens and ducks. Definitely know the rules. But chickens are easily the most common, easiest to get to. You know, local markets, Gumtree, there are always chickens for sale from breeders and people who have older stock. And it's always good to get them from a few different sources. As to actual breeds of birds, look, it doesn't really matter. When it comes to chickens, the ones that you would find on sale aren't a meat type breed anyway. You'd have to really go looking for those sort of birds. Most of them would be dual purpose, things like Australorps or Rhode Island Red. And most people obviously just keep them for egg production. You can get your white leghorns and your commercial Isa Brown types as well, which are those really high producing birds. One thing I'll say about egg colour, has absolutely zero effect on nutrition of the egg. White, brown, blue, in between, they're all the same on the inside. I know that when I was a kid, you could only buy white eggs from the supermarket. Then in the 80s, 90s, they changed to a different breed of bird. It used to be the white leghorn. The colour of the bird affects the colour of the egg. So generally speaking, white birds will produce white eggs, browner birds, black birds will produce brown eggs. The darker the bird, the darker the egg colour. So when I was a kid, it was all white leghorns. They were the main producers. Then they've gone to this more Isa Brown commercial type bird, those sort of reddy brown birds, and produce reasonably dark brown eggs. I suspect a lot of that was quite a deliberate decision on part of the egg producers to change to a brown type egg, which was seen as more wholesome, you know, more natural, rather than a pure white egg of the leghorn. And I think that was all about image. I think they made a deliberate decision to change to the brown type egg because of that image that caged eggs had in the 80s and 90s. It was getting a very bad rep, and for good reason. And so just as a way of offsetting that, they decided to try and improve their image by having the brown eggs. And a lot of people, if they're not educated about these things, would make an assumption, and it's quite a logical assumption, it just happens to be incorrect, that brown eggs are healthier than white ones, because white ones sort of have that sterile look to them or something. And if you don't know anything about chooks, then it's a kind of logical assumption to make, but yeah, like I said, it's an incorrect one. Yeah, when it comes to duck breeds, like I said, if you're after eggs, Indian Runner or Khaki Campbell, but there are other breeds that you can get. Rowan, Appleyard, Cayuga. Cayuga's more of a meat breed. In fact, so is the Rowan. So they're not as well producing eggs, but if you want to breed for meat, then crossbreeding ducks of various breeds definitely are an option. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. If there's, I think that's about all that I could think of the top of my head when it comes to chickens or ducks. I hope you find this video helpful. Big thank you to my brother Nathan, who is helping me edit these videos and putting them up online for me. I'll run around in a minute and probably try and get some footage of the chickens or ducks and overlay it in sections. And he's helping with all that. So if you're into art at all, go check out his channel, Appleby Illustration. He does some great videos on that. So if you're into art, check it out. My next topic for my next video, I plan to do aquaponics. I figure that's one that's going to be fairly popular. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of how to make everything and what size, you know, pump and pipe you'll need here and all that sort of stuff, but just give you a nice general overview and hopefully help you make a decision on whether it's going to work for you. That's my main goal here, is to just give a bit of advice on what direction you should move if you want to try and increase the amount of food that you produce in your property. Most people start off with veggie gardens and that sort of thing. I want to sort of help you go to the next level where you start thinking about actual livestock in suburbia. And look, it's never going to be a big scale. You keep a few chooks, a few ducks, something else, and I just want to help you make those decisions and see whether it's right for you. So please leave a comment. Tell me if there's a particular topic you would like to know about, and I'll try my best to impart some of my knowledge. So yeah, till next time, have a great day. See you later. Bye.